আসসালামু আলাইকুম, স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি আমাদের নিয়মিত আয়োজন ন্যাশনাল ডেভেলপমেন্ট প্রোগ্রাম আয়োজিত ভয়েসেস অফ ডেভেলপমেন্টে। আমরা সকলেই জানি, যারা আমাদের দেখেন বা আমাদের সাথে আছেন, আমরা সকলেই জানি এই প্রোগ্রামের মূল উদ্দেশ্য হচ্ছে বর্তমানে আমাদের এনজিও সেক্টরে আমাদের ডেভেলপমেন্ট যে এজেন্সিগুলো আছে তাদের যে ফান্ড কাট তারা সিদ্ধান্ত নিয়েছে, এর ফলে কত মানুষ কিভাবে ইফেক্টেড হয়েছে এবং তারা ভবিষ্যতে তাদের পরিকল্পনাগুলো কেমন করে করছে, এটা নিয়েই আসলে আমরা আলোচনা করি। এবং এই আলোচনার জন্য আমরা প্রতিটি পর্বে একজন ডেভেলপমেন্ট এক্সপার্টকে এখানে স্বাগত জানাই, যিনি উনার যেই এক্সপেরিয়েন্স আছে এটা আমাদের সাথে শেয়ার করেন এবং আলটিমেটলি আমরা এটাকে কোথায় নিয়ে যেতে পারি, কিভাবে এটা সমাধান আমরা সবাই মিলে করতে পারি, সেটাই আমাদের আলোচনার বিষয়বস্তু। আজকে আমাদের স্টুডিওতে আমাদের সাথে উপস্থিত আছেন মিস্টার তালহা জামাল, কান্ট্রি ডিরেক্টর, ইসলামিক রিলিফ। We welcome you into the program.
Thank you very much.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine.
Alhamdulillah. So actually, as we said that NDP just arranged this program to find out that how the things are going on and what should be the future plan and what should be the probable solution of this problem we are facing for fund cut. So how would you explain the present situation?
Yeah, first of all, I will like to thank you and NDP for inviting me in this program wherein you are calling in development practitioners and discussing this very important topic which has taken us all over by storm at the moment. Indeed, like when the fund cuts happened, in fact, it happened all of a sudden, and this really stunned the whole sector.
No doubt.
And now still the sector is coming to terms with it. And you know that it started with the USAID meltdown, and then it was followed by various European donors as well cutting down on the foreign aid. And then again, you know, the geopolitics at the moment we all are aware of, with so many wars, especially the war in Gaza, the war in Ukraine,
right,
the war next door in Myanmar and Sudan. So this has really, you know, all of a sudden put a lot of pressure on the humanitarian agencies, because the needs have grown hugely, and at this point of time the funding has come down all of a sudden, and that is putting a huge pressure. And beside that, you know, also I will talk that Bangladesh will be soon graduating, and that another thing that will also further squeeze the funding moving forward.
And it will affect it, of course.
Exactly. So that is another thing which we are in a transition.
Yes.
So, and you know, in terms of the immediate impact, if I talk about what happened, like it directly impacted most of the NGOs and INGOs equally. And like as far as I know, like more than 50,000 skilled professionals are now out of the system. They have lost a job.
Yes, we have heard.
Quantity.
Yes, the data is saying something like 50,000 people directly lost their job.
Directly lost the job, and this is like really, really concerning.
Yeah.
Very concerning, and that.
And this is the direct data, but indirectly it is more than like 50 lakh.
This is like we are talking about the NGO sector. Then beside that, there are many like service providers who are part of the supply chain.
Exactly.
You know, in humanitarian, extending humanitarian assistance, and they're important partner as well. So that has happened there again, if we take that into account. So that way it has directly hit many of the organizations, like mostly we are donation
based.
Based.
Yeah,
and
depending on donation. Yeah,
we are adapting to that sudden cut by lot of structuring, restructuring happening all the time. It's still happening.
Yeah.
And you know, as the fund further squeezes, I think the number of people getting out of the system will increase. That is
and the global scenario is indicating that yes, it is going to decrease. No chance to increase anymore.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
And then, this is like the impact on the NGO architecture.
Yeah.
But moving beyond, the worst affected will be the communities. And they have already been affected.
Yeah.
Even
from the services.
Even from the services. Now, for example, if I talk about, the Rohingya context, we are working a lot with them. Now, with the sudden fund cut over there, you can see that almost the schools are closed. The health services have come down entirely. So the whole concentration is now on keeping the people alive, barely alive, by just giving food. So that's the focus. And then there was recently, even the WFP announced that even that is available until November, and we don't know what happens after that. Yeah. So the situation is really grave and alarming. So indeed, it has massively affected the sector, with this stunning fund cut, I will say. But at the same time, I will say that the NGO sector will continue to remain relevant in the coming times, even more relevant. And we have had our own cutting edge expertise to contribute over here. We have been if you look at humanitarian responses, NGOs have been doing a great job in terms of reaching out quickly to the communities in the hard to reach areas, which even before the government system can reach.
Yeah, it always happened. Yes, in any response, NGO always took the first step. So we will listen more about it, that how the NGO sector is dealing with this situation and what's the contribution.
Of course, as though the impact of this funding cut has been really too much, both in the humanitarian programming, as I just mentioned a while back, among Rohingyas. Similarly, in Bangladesh, we are also responding to perennial cyclones and floods every year.
Yeah.
So that area will also get affected, because we are working with very vulnerable communities. And it is important that humanitarian life-saving aid reaches them in time, because and which really enables them to bounce back. Even while we have done lot of resilience programming, the people resilience have increased definitely, but still to get them back on their feet, there is a bit of relief support required every time, so that they come back to life faster. So I foresee that these areas might also get impacted if you don't have enough fund to respond.
And we are very disaster prone. We are very vulnerable. Yes.
One of the most vulnerable countries across the world, which is affected by climate-induced disasters. So certainly, and then in the development sector again, if you see, the number of child marriages is quite high already.
Yep. Though we are working a lot on
this. But still huge. We work on that subject, and we see that it's still quite a lot.
Yeah.
And then you can see school dropouts, especially among the girls, girl child, school dropouts, absenteeism, protection issues. So these all will get spiked.
Social security,
and all these things will get spiked up if we are not really investing on these things and continue to invest on these things. So so this is the sort of a scenario, and in this scenario we are now looking at this stunning cuts. But as I said, I'm sure that the NGOs, they are also resilient enough. They will adapt themselves and come back and address these issues which are coming to us. And they are already adapting themselves, and moving forward, we have to really, so far we have been very much Western centric in terms of our funding.
Yes.
And
dependent as well.
Too much. And it's like a realization that all of a sudden the funding from USAID and this comes down, and we are in a very difficult situation.
Shocking mood, yeah.
And this is a big realization that too much of Western, dependence on institutional Western funding was there, and like we never, that was a huge contribution from
Yeah.
them anyways. But once it has gone, we are finding ourselves like in the cold.
Yeah.
So
like we are finished.
Finished. So,
Yeah.
and so that's why it is important that we really start to look at the domestic front also at this point of time. And we have huge opportunities, because what I feel is that there is no dearth of resources. It is all about will. If we have strong will, we'll be able to generate resources
Yeah, of course.
to do it. And you know, and there are, and you know, many things we have already been doing. It's not that we don't know it, how to raise resources from various other
Right,
ways.
right.
But so far we have been ignoring it because we had institutional
Other
funding
sources.
coming.
Yes.
So now it is time to look back to those things, you know.
Exactly.
Now, for example, Bangladesh being a Muslim majority country, there is a huge scope in tapping the Islamic community fundings, you know. For example, zakat, you have got sadqa, fitra, and then you know, even waqf,
Waqf. Yeah.
right? So we have to explore
All these possibilities.
areas, because if we are able to really you know, structure this funding and channelize this properly, we will be able to really address a lot of the gaps which are coming out through this. So this is the area which we can really look at. And then at the same time, in Bangladesh also we have got high worth individuals whom we can really also
Yeah,
you know, tap
yeah.
up with,
Yes,
and
of
that
course.
in terms of their philanthropic work. So we have to create products, you know, for those kind of individuals who really want to contribute to the society, but they don't have the right channels through which they can really, you know,
Reach to the
reach to
target.
the right people
Yes.
whom they want to help.
Yes.
So if we can really build that channel, we will be able to tap a lot of funding
Of
from
course.
those high worth individuals too. And there are many over here. And then you see, even if you see in the recent years, suddenly people who are doing Qurbani has also increased.
Increased. Yeah.
Earlier there
Number
were very few people who
Yes.
could afford to you know,
Sure.
do Qurbani. So
Yeah.
that is sadqa. And now you see that
Number has-
numbers are going up.
Yeah.
So for sure, people who can invest, they have, you know, they still have that you know,
Mentality.
willingness
Yes.
to do community support.
Support.
So that can be also harnessed quite a bit, you know, and even a small amount of money by such big masses
Yes.
can make a huge
amount,
sort of
of
amount.
course,
You know,
and
the
effort
potential
as
is huge.
well.
But the only thing is that how we really structure it and channelize it in a proper way to the community.
Don't you think not only money, actually now we should look for the resources, the present resources we have. It could be like our structure, it could be infrastructure, it could be like the support of intellectual
Of course,
suggestions.
of course.
Yeah, so those should be actually, I think that those also should be sorted out, that who can help in which way, and we can go together with all these things.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And you know, and unfortunately, this concept of volunteerism had been a little weak
Yeah.
in our area. You know,
Yeah.
unlike if you look in the Western countries, this whole concept of volunteerism is quite strong.
Strong.
And over here, this is less. But in the same time, there are people, if who will be willing to, you know, come in and contribute through their knowledge, through their skills. You know, we have got good doctors, we have got engineers, we have got teachers.
Teachers, yeah.
And you know, these resources can also be mobilized.
Yeah.
You know, and with little administrative resources, these volunteer skills can be channelized. You know,
Yeah.
to address.
So we
lot
should
of
be more
issues.
focused on community mobilization now,
Exactly.
and this can change the scenario, I think, because Bangladesh has already all this potential, and they are doing a lot from very beginning.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
See, these things are not new for Bangladesh
yeah.
also, and then at the same time, you know, we can also look forward to the diaspora, Bangladeshi diaspora in outside, in abroad, and they have been contributing quite a lot, you know,
Right.
already. So that they also need to be reached out now more, so that you know, the gaps can be met. So we have to look at all creatively and out of the box,
Of course.
to you know, address this gap which is there. And I'm sure, I think it is doable, but it's not. Yeah, of course. And then we had this good models in Bangladesh on cost recoveries.
Yes.
So that is another area. Social businesses. That's another area. And we have good experience in that. Even like organization like you have a huge scope in furthering these kind of
different initiatives and steps. Yeah.
Exactly. So we have to look at all these things. Even like, for example, Waqf. So if even some high worth individuals, if they can do some Waqf, the property, like making some market, making schools, and then from that also the cost recovery can
even
happen
industries
from rents and all those
even
things.
Industries,
Exactly, the corporate
factories,
that is the area which has been like much less corporate social responsibility.
Yes.
Certainly, that there is like even the employee giving, which happens,
Yes.
so that can be
yes,
also
during coronavirus we have seen it.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
How
that
to
those are the
contribute.
area where employees are contributing. So that can be also looked at, and
Sure.
we can certainly mobilize quite a bit of funding. But of course, at the same time, I will say that this requires a certain skill sets. So we have to also institutionally build these skill sets so that we are able to tap
Right.
all these various things. Like so
Exactly.
far, we have been more attuned to writing a kind of proposal to get the institutional funding. But now you have to have the whole different way of marketing, the
Yeah,
different way
yeah.
of addressing the things.
Right.
So we have to institutionally also adapt to this and build our own
Channels
skill
and
sets,
linkages. Yes.
and then position ourselves so
Right.
that we are able to tap on
So
these
mostly
kind of
actually we
ranges.
have to think about that we not in the approach of donor and receiver
Yeah.
rather than partners.
Exactly, rather than partners, of course, and then another thing is that at the same time, the NGOs and the institutions, we have to also think of cost efficiency.
Right.
This is we have
Effectiveness of cost. yeah,
we have to
cost
look at
effective.
our own structure
And value for money.
and value for money.
Yeah.
All these things are very, very important now because so the cost, the delivery cost have to reduce substantially. So that the maximum amount reaches to the people as a hard aid in their hands.
Yeah.
So
See, when it was from a donor who is not from the country, it is from another agency.
Yeah.
So what happened that we have to think of 5 to 6 tires when the money goes
Yeah.
to the beneficiaries.
Yeah.
But when we are doing it directly,
Yeah.
it is how it is going on is maybe mostly 2 tires are there.
No, of
and
course,
So
of
money
course.
will reach. So we don't need that 2 more tires over there. Then
Absolutely,
costing is
absolutely.
getting less. No?
Exactly. So that is another area that we have to really make our aid delivery or development work very, very cost efficient
Right.
and effective at the same time.
course.
So we have to look at those ways. We have to look at our own organizational architecture, how leaner it is, how much optimized it is. So this is another area which we have to look at, so that it has been actually high, I will say, earlier, we have to admit it, but now we have to really work on making ourselves more efficient.
Yeah, there was a practice there. It is started meanwhile that every organizations were thinking that we have to be the best, but now the approach should be that all together we are the same and we are with the same goal, and
Of
all
course.
together whoever has any resources we
Yeah.
have to implement and
Of course, exactly.
bring the
Before that,
impact.
I will, exactly what you are saying. That this is the time when we have to come together.
together. Yes,
It's a time of building alliances. It's
Alliances,
the time of
exactly.
So in this time, so that and complementing and supplementing our work. We are working in one area, then there has to be greater coordination. There has to be greater
Cooperation.
collaboration as well.
Exactly.
We have to look at common cost which we can save.
Yeah.
Say around security that can be shared.
Yeah.
Similarly there are
Infrastructure.
You can share the office spaces. So
yeah.
there are so many costs which we can, if we can come together and work and lessen these unhealthy competitions.
Yes, that's the main point.
That's another area.
We are saying that we are doing humanitarian works, but
Yeah.
we are having that competition.
Exactly. So we have to stop doing that.
Yes.
The community has to be in the center.
Right.
And all our job is to serve them. And we have to do it in collaboration.
And plan it in that way that actually when we are helping, it is changing their lives in positive way. Not like they will be the beneficiaries all through their lives. They will take the grant money and they will have their meal. Not like that. We have to.
And we have another role which we have to play in terms of strengthening the community organizations. It has to be community ownership entirely. In
that we will come back, but it will continue. It will be sustainable.
And these are the areas which we have the strength because of our community mobilization skills, our connection with the community, the whole bottom-up approach through which we work. So these are the areas which we can really do a great job in terms of, and I will also say that we have we have to learn from our past mistakes, past works also, experiences also. Like I will say that sometimes our whole model is very expensive. If you see the number of staff members, the number of the amount of resources which are going into to deliver a certain things, so that is huge. Like it's a state of the art. We also don't need that kind of a state of the art. We have to maybe do things which are more appropriate and which is in control of the people. Where which you are presenting very costly model, which neither the local government will buy nor the community will buy. If they will get it, it will remain, it will not replicate, it will not move forward, because it has to be affordable for the community to bear it, and they have to be in control of those models which
ultimately they have
be it livelihood, be it education, be it any sector. So that is also important, that we the models which are propagating are like more realistic, and it suits the pocket of the people rather than very expensive and state of the art thing, and creating an island of excellence, but many of the
people are not getting their food even.
So this approach we'll also have to look into moving forward.
So thank you so much. It was a very effective discussion, we must say, and you have pointed very I must say that very specific things that we have to take care of and we have to look upon that can help us to handle this situation, and as a country we can grow together and just continue the sustainable development of the country, of course, if we plan in that way.
Inshallah.
So thank you so much for your valuable time, and a special thanks from National Development Program that you have joined us, and you have become the pioneer of this initiative, of course.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to be in this program of NDF, and I wish you all the very best.
You're most welcome. So আপনারা যারা আমাদের দেখছেন এবং শুনছেন, আশা করি আপনারা আপনাদের মতামত দিয়ে আমাদের সহযোগিতা করবেন। আপনাদের মতামত পেলে আমরা আমাদের এই অনুষ্ঠানে আর কি ধরনের প্রশ্ন করতে পারি, যে প্রশ্নগুলো আপনাদের জন্য কাজে লাগবে, এবং কমিউনিটি ডেভেলপমেন্টে আপনাদের আর কি ধরনের সাজেশন আছে যা করলে আমরা আমাদের কমিউনিটিতে একটা সাস্টেইনেবল ডেভেলপমেন্ট নিয়ে ভবিষ্যতের জন্য পরিকল্পনা করতে পারি, আমাদেরকে জানাবেন। আর আমাদের সাথে থাকবেন, দেখতে থাকবেন ভয়েসেস অফ ডেভেলপমেন্ট। ধন্যবাদ।